people responsible of putting this all together for all of us. And we work alongside together, long hours. And he's standing right there in the back. His name is Ryan Pagella, and he is the Vice President of ConnectiCon. Would you like to come up and say a couple things, Ryan?
Yeah.
Round of applause here for Ryan.
My voice is dying, so I apologize in advance. But thank you for coming to ConnectiCon. This has been a very epic and awesome year. I've tried to cycle through everything that's happened in the past, I guess, 48 hours, and it's just been crazy and awesome, and we've been pumped, and the turnout has been great. All of the events have been great. All of our new events, such as the Kinetic Crawl, were amazing. But mostly I'm here right now. If you guys have any questions that you want to ask me about ConnectiCon itself, I'm here to do that, so that's up to you guys. Yes?
For conventions, you always have either small-scale or large-scale conventions. I always thought ConnectiCon to be like a nice mid-scale one, like you can make friends here, if not like so jam-packed like MA Boston or something like that. What would you say is the best way to describe ConnectiCon?
You know what, I'm with you. I started with this convention all the way back in 2006. And back then it was a much smaller convention, and as you said, after that it was very much a mid-tier kind of convention where you come in and it's very comfortable. And it still is that way, but it is growing very quickly. Thank you. Let's have a round of applause for Leo. He's been great this weekend, guys. But yeah, the feeling that we have here in ConnectiCon is that it is very much like family here, and it is a family con, and we here are family, and every single time that there's new people that come to ConnectiCon just as an attendee, the response is, it just feels so relaxed, that the staff is relaxed, and that you're like just welcome here, and it's just very, you are part of ConnectiCon, and that's what we go for. And even as we grow, we really want that to still kind of shine through, and that be the kind of like mantra of the convention, I suppose. So yes, even as we're growing, I definitely want us to still embrace people and still have that feeling, because if we do get if we become a large convention, like, say, I don't know, Dragon Con or Anime Boston, that is going to be a lot of people in one space, and we're going to have to expand somehow, especially since I don't know how we're going to fit that many people here, but we still want to be able to embrace people and have them just be part of the family. So yes.
What's the hardest part of putting the convention together?
Oh God. Which part? Where do I start? Honestly, it can be very difficult at times, and I think within the last month beforehand, that's when it's just really everything's compressed into this small time frame. But I guess I can't say which part is the hardest personally, because I have a really awesome staff, and we have some really awesome department heads this year. We hired over 200 staff, which we've never done before, and it's without them, ConnectiCon's not even possible, because they really they make it what it is, and we delegate a lot of really tedious tasks to everyone. I guess if I have to pick something, it's really hard to pick, because everything is just a long, dreary process, but it's totally worth it. The payoff is awesome. But I guess the most difficult part is kind of the program book, because we have to collect a lot of information for the guests, for the events, all the changes that are being made last minute. I know it was the most stressful because we spent about a week in the office, some who just stayed there and slept in sleeping bags to get it done, just because we have to pull in all this information from all the departments, all the venues we're using, and say the Kinetic Crawl, we're obtaining the discounts and talking to the hotels and seeing what they're doing, getting information from the guests, like such as biographies. It's just pulling it all together, and I know that we're all like on wit's end and trying not to kill each other, but we did a good job. And I think that's probably the most tedious thing, so that's kind of the thing that sticks out in my brain right now. Also, it's probably the most recent thing. And also kind of getting the ball rolling on Thursday night is always just a really kind of tedious task, because it's really fast and there's a lot of stuff happening, because we're getting the whole convention up. You've been here all weekend, you've seen all the things going on, all the events. We have to set that all up in like 6 hours, so that's probably the most stressful thing besides the program book. But really, all of it is, it's not that it's difficult, there's just a lot of work put into it. And as I said, it's the staff that really pulls it together. And like, if we didn't have the whole crew running at all times, then the ship wouldn't roll. But we have an awesome staff, so that's where that is. Yes.
First comment, where did the screenings this year? Thank them for getting The Never-Ending Story on the big screen. My favorite movie of all time. It was nice to, even though I had to stay up at 2 a.m. to 4 a.m. in order to see it, it was so worth it. So thank them, the guy from me, very much for that. And the question connected to that, why did you move the screenings from the hotel room to the theater this year?
Well, okay, so the Spotlight Theaters on Front Street is a new theater, so we really wanted to connect with them and coordinate and see if they would get in on this because, as I said, the convention is expanding and there's only so much room in the convention center and the hotel here that, you know, we used to have screenings upstairs here in the hotel, but we needed to expand for all the new panels we had this year, such as special events too, which is kind of like a secondary main events. And that needed to go up there this year, and we had to move things around, such as Cosplay HQ and the live programming. So screenings really couldn't stay where it was, but luckily this theater was opening, and we really wanted to work with them because they're great over there. They have a great bistro, a great bar. They have wonderful seating, so very comfortable. And the guy who runs the place is really wonderful to work with, and he had a list of movies we could go through, and Never-Ending Story was one of them. Adventures of Babysitting was one of my personal favorites. But we were like, we wish there were more conventions that actually showed these movies on the big screen, and so it just all worked out, and it was great. And I think it was really awesome this year that we had some like old nostalgic movies too, because I feel like, especially in the convention scene, nostalgia is really a driving point of interest. I mean, you'll see recent things like the Avengers walking around, or people who are super into that. But when it comes down to it, the reason why we do this is because we love things all geek, and that kind of starts from your childhood. And so things like the Never-Ending Story is where that started, and I feel like nostalgia is very important to that. So we're really happy to have been able to do that. Anybody else? Yes.
If somebody wanted to start a very small scale con, where would you say for them to begin? Where would you say would be a good starting point for them?
Well, I know for ConnectiCon it started at the University of Hartford, and from what I understand, a lot of conventions start that way. It's just like a group of people in college that really want to kind of get together and have an event. If they already have a club going, then it's usually related to that. And if it takes off, it takes off, and that's exactly what happened with ConnectiCon. Sometimes people will like seek out like venues, but it's really hard to do that in your first year. It's just kind of like jump into an actual convention center and figure it out. Where college campuses, you know, you can rent rooms. Sometimes they don't even charge you, so it's just a really good way to get it going because you can use classrooms as like panels and stuff like that. But that's how you find a location. And the idea is there. It's usually like a few people that really want to do it, and then they just bring it all together. Get their friends involved, and if it grows, it grows. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But it's usually just starting off as something for fun, and it's never like out there to start as a business. Yes?
Now, where do you see ConnectiCon going in the future?
Excuse me. Well, ConnectiCon is growing, so if it grows, we're going to start using more additional venues in Hartford, and that's the first thing. If we really do hit higher numbers this year, and as the years continue, those numbers continue to grow, then as I said, we're not going to be able to fit here, so we're going to have to start going into additional venues. As you saw this year, we had the screenings, and we also had the ConnectiCrawl, which was down at the bars in downtown Hartford. And so we will have to start expanding just all over the city. And just adding more events. One of the things that we do here in ConnectiCon is that we like to try new things, and we don't stay with the standard events for conventions. We like to create new ideas, we like to go for them. One thing that pops to mind is that this year they're doing a live board game of Battleship with real people, which is really kind of awesome. And the ConnectiCrawl was a new idea that I haven't seen a lot of other conventions do, especially with all these performances, because it wasn't just like kind of nerdy performances we had. We had nerdy bands, but then we had like not nerdy bands, and that was really cool. just kind of bringing those communities together. So really, it's just we're always willing to try new things, and as you can see this year, we really raised the bar. So hopefully, if people really liked what they saw, we can continue doing that. Yes.
Is there any particular moment from this weekend you're extremely proud of?
This weekend? The convention as a whole or this weekend?
This weekend.
Okay, that narrows it down for me. Let's see. Give me a second here. There's been a lot this weekend. I guess I am most proud of the staff that really came through and really made it what it was, because as I said, we had a lot of new events, and I could pick a few that I thought went really well. But I didn't think that's particularly fair to everybody. The thing is that this particular year at ConnectiCon, we had a lot of new staff. A lot of department heads changed after years of being the same, and so we had a lot of new faces and a lot of people who hadn't done this before, and to jump in on something that had become increasingly this huge was very difficult for a lot of them, but they really pulled through, and I'm amazed. I was kind of blown away with how well everyone did, considering, some of these department heads, it was their first year. And Leo's one of them. He really just kind of brought this together. He brought new ideas, for example, such as the press room, which you guys all really enjoyed. We hadn't had one of those before. And so, really, I think I'm just really proud of the staff for just coming through and being awesome. And then there's some great events that I thought went really well as well, such as the dating game. And also some of the new live events over in the ballroom, such as Nerd Prom. But yeah, it comes down to the staff. I'm very thankful for them. I will never say this is just a me or Matt Daigle thing. It's all of us that come together to make the ship run.
I know she had a larger presence this year from American comic producers that you haven't had in the past, except for the independents. What other things would you like to be able to add that haven't been part of the ConnectiCon or still part of geek culture?
We're talking about actually industry guests from like Marvel and DC. We want to get more of them. This isn't the first year we tried doing it, but this is the first year that we had as many as we did. So we're just kind of trying out the waters. I know that we have a large online media guest presence here, and there's a lot of webcomic artists that the attendees really love, but we really would like to mix it up and kind of get a half and half going, because we love the OMG guests, but we also really love the people who get out there and work for Marvel on those tedious deadlines. And we would love to just kind of get more people in here. We have a list of people that we would like to see. Unfortunately, I can't dispense that information, but that is something that we want to see expand. So it's not just OMG, OMG's online media guests, and hopefully those people can mingle, because the great thing about these guests is when they come here, I see them all the time. They're talking to each other, they're connecting, and that would be great for a lot of these aspiring artists that are not getting paid for what they do, but they're super passionate about it, and so they have the chance to work with additional professionals who are getting paid and have worked in the industry for a long time. So bringing them together is great for the community, and we want to see that expand over the years. Anybody else?
One more question, anybody? No, I guess so.
Oh, one more.
Just a comment, thank you for putting this all up together.
No, thank you. You know what? I'm sure you guys all came here because you are also geeks like myself. We do this because we do it for you guys. It's not for us. It's because we do it for you. It's without everybody who goes to ConnectiCon, there would be no ConnectiCon. So thank you guys. All right. All right. Here's Leo. Let's hear it for him too.
Thank you very much, Ryan. All right, everybody, actually, we have a special surprise for you.